What up, though, brothers and sisters? This is your brother, SPEAKROC. Hey, I want to be real quick with you all, but I want to put something out there for the critical thinkers. I want to put something out there for people who are way smarter than me. But I want us to I want us to think, and I want us to come up with solutions as well. I'm going to work on something that I'm going to do my best to put something together so we all can become knowledgeable and become empowered to do our best to come against some of the ills that are coming against us in this day and age. And let me hurry up and get to it. One of the things I find I'm so curious about is that we every day we go about our lives every day, and in one way or the other, we're encountering police, or we're being monitored by police, or we're being, it's some way, I'm telling you, you have some kind of interaction with a police officer, be it directly or indirectly. And what's interesting to me is that, and I've asked a couple of people, I've said, hey, look, do you know what your rights are? Do you know all the laws that come into play? Do you know your rights, as it pertains to engaging with a police officer or, having any kind of interaction? And a lot of times, simply put, the answer is really no. There's a vagueness. There's this kind of like, I think I kind of know, there's this passed down tradition of what you should be doing. What your mom and dad taught you, what Schoolhouse Rock taught you, what the resource officer in your high school taught you, when you was in elementary school, with the police officers who visited, and they was dressed up like a clown and doing magic tricks and every little other thing that police officers do to try to engage with children. All these things that you was taught, be it Smokey the Bear, what was that, McGruff the Crying Dog, like all these cartoon figures or these ways of trying to engage with the public. These are things that you've been taught since a kid, but really to understand and know the legal aspect of what it is that, how are you supposed to conduct yourself? What are you supposed to adhere to when engaged by a police officer? Most people do not know. They don't know. And here's the deal. We've become comfortable, brothers and sisters, in just not knowing. It's so interesting to me that in order to get your driver's license, you have to go through a rigorous test. You have to show a test of proficiency of actually being behind the wheel. You have to clock and log in hours. You have to take an academic test. You have to take a written test and make sure that you pass that. You are held accountable to know the laws and the rules of the road before you can even drive. And once you do become a licensed driver, that now you're really held accountable to, guess what? You took the test, you passed the written, you passed, the practical, you took the road test, you should know. Ignorance is not an excuse. It's amazing that we put ourselves through so much of that. You can know, you know what I'm saying? Right away, pedestrians got the right of way. That, all the rules of the road. You name them. Let's just we can go on and on. But for some reason, we don't know what rules, what statutes, what are the governing laws? What are my rights as it pertains to interacting with a police officer? And it's come to show in this day and age, you can lose your life just by not doing the right thing or you can become seriously injured by not doing, quote unquote, the right thing. Now watch this. You can even die doing the right thing. Maybe I'm just speaking for black folk. History is on my side. We're dying out here even doing the right thing. But I think we're so much, we're behind the power curve, if you will, by still not even actually knowing the laws. And what's funny to me is that I don't see police officers coming out here actually literally educating the people, the community, and saying, okay, when you encounter a police officer and there are certain directives that are given, these are the things by law, by written law, based on what city, what town, what county, what state that you live in. This is what you must do as a citizen, but by law, by written law. And this is what I'm getting at. Time out for police officers just saying, hey, look, it's the right thing to do. If I ask you to do something, you just do it. What law is that? What law? We have a law for everything else, but what law is that? So if I don't adhere to that law, but see, that police officer in their textbook, they understand, or in their policy, they understand that if the citizen doesn't do X, Y, Z, the police officer per policy was a quote, they can escalate and do this. But here's the funny thing. Most of us, brothers and sisters, we don't know that. Trust me, I've asked a number of people, like, what are you supposed to do? What are the actual laws that state what you're supposed to do? Be it if you're driving in a vehicle, if you're in your home, if you're walking down the street, what are you supposed to do if a police officer gives you a directive by law? What are you supposed to do? And here's the thing. Where is it? My thing is this. If we want to educate the community so much as it pertains to law enforcement, local elected officials, activists, clergy, if we want to educate the people so much, why are we not sharing this with them? This is a situation that is so critical that African Americans are losing their lives because of interaction with law enforcement. So if the same holds true that if you adhere to the rules of the road, the chances that you will more likely survive are increased. There's a high probability and possibility that you will survive driving on the road by adhering and obeying the rules of the road. And if nothing else, guess what? As long as you obey the rules of the road, which you took a test for, guess what? You won't receive a citation. If you don't speed, you won't receive a citation. If you don't run a red light, you won't receive a citation. If you don't run a stop sign, you won't receive a citation. Okay? And you know what's interesting about using the analogy in driving? That when a police officer, if they give you a citation, guess what? On that ticket, on the citation that they gave you, they will write down the code and the rule that you broke. So it's in a book somewhere. It's in a book. This is what you did. And guess what? You broke it. This is the number for it. Here it is. Go to court. And I'm here to tell you, textbook wise, as it pertains to the law enforcement officer, they are taught how to do a traffic stop. All traffic stops are not the same. All encounter with civilians are not the same. But yet, nevertheless, they go over scenarios, they train, they practice. Trust me, this is what they do. They have a manual. They have a policy. They got rules and regulations. that they supposed to adhere to. So they have their rules when engaging the public. But the question is, once again, why is the public ignorant of what the rules are? What are the rules for the citizen? Why is this information being coveted? Why is this information not being freely shared with people? Why is this information not given to citizens? And since police officers love speaking to young people, for some reason, I do not know. That's beyond me. They love speaking to young people. Will go out their way to deal with a kid, especially black kids. Another conversation for another day. But how is it when you go to these schools, you're not sharing that information? Look, per regulation, per the law here in this town, in this city, this is what we're doing. This is what you must do legally when you encounter me. So if I ask you to do something legally, here's the code, here's the statute that says you must do this. If I say this, you must do this. It's that simple. It's right here. It's written down. Too easy. Why is this not being explained like that? And for anybody who wants to say, well, things aren't that simple. Once again, I don't know. I guess it wasn't that simple for Tamir Rice. I guess it wasn't that simple for Sandra Bland. I guess it just wasn't that simple for Austin Sterling. I guess it wasn't that simple. No. It is that simple. Trust me. It is that simple. But for so long, this system that we choose to want to live in and believe in, to feel comfortable, I feel, brothers and sisters, we've just let some things fall by the wayside. Then we want to pound on other things. Hey, look, just do what the cops say do. Come to find out, that's not working. Even so much so, black folk coming up with these alternatives of how to maneuver around cops so we can survive. Writing books about it, putting out documentaries about it. This is what black folk got to do in order to survive. So that's the logic that we're using. So instead of educating ourselves, we can educate ourselves on everything else. We can educate ourselves on how to get the bag. We can educate ourselves on real estate. We can educate ourselves on how to buy a car. We can educate ourselves on how to get educated. We can educate ourselves on how to advance in our career. We can educate ourselves on how to, be social media stars. We are going all out with that. But every day, I'm telling you, just ask the people that surround you. Ask the brother and sister to your left and your right. Do you know everything legally we are supposed to do when you encounter a police officer and they give you a directive? What am I supposed to do legally? What are my legal rights? So, and I'm not talking about your Miranda rights, just only that. Everybody know most people can probably quote their Miranda rights. If you've been looking at some Law and Order for long enough, you're like, okay, a kid can probably quote their Miranda rights, regardless if they know what why they're being used or the time they're being used. But the point is, let me put it like this. I was talking to one brother and he was like, man, it's a system. It's the system that we've come up in and we've just adhered to, but we've never challenged. It's just a system. And it's funny is when brothers and sisters get locked up and get put into the system, they eventually, while in the system, become lawyers. And what I mean by is street lawyers. All of a sudden, that individual who's been incarcerated or been detained, all of a sudden knows all this legal jargon. It's amazing to me. It's amazing. So I just think it's problematic that African Americans are having so much problems with law enforcement, and which is nothing new. I know you're like, come on, smart guy. This is nothing new. We've been going through this. I understand that. But what I also understand is that since we've been going through this, who's asked this poignant question. And I know there's some people out there that have, especially these brothers in the Moorish community, they'll run you down like, hey, by law, I don't have to do this. By law, I don't have to do that. You don't need a driver's license. You don't need a social security card. You don't need this, that. Hey, that's another topic for another day. All I'm getting into is this. This is one simple thing. How do we operate day by day and we do not have a full understanding of what we're obligated to do legally? With Google, with the internet, Wikipedia, for whatever county, city, state, town that you live in, we should be able to find what statutes, what laws that determine what I must do if I'm encountering the police. And funny thing is, I'm like, maybe, and I'm a realist, maybe black folk just feel like, look, it's not important. That's not important. Just do what the cops say do, and everything will be all right. I've heard such things like, hey, look, it's a respect thing. I just don't understand. How are we operating off of just respect when there's a system in place? There's laws in place. You don't take respect when it comes time to pay your light bill. You ain't talking respect when it's time to pay the mortgage. You ain't talking respect when it comes to the car note. You're not talking about that. It ain't respect then. It's what's right. It's what's legal. Quite frankly, a police officer did not don their blue uniform and a badge and say, I'm about to go out here and police respect. I'm going to go out here and exemplify respect, and, that's going to get me through. No. They got books. Probably everything is probably digitized by now of laws, things they must know. Because if they write you a citation, that citation needs to be able to fly, supposedly, when it goes before that judge. Or if not, then they're going to be criticized. Like, what are you doing? What are you out here enforcing? Like, what are you trying to make happen? What? Don't bring this garbage in my courtroom. That's what the judge is going to have a piece of they behind, if not their supervisor. But day by day, brothers and sisters, we are walking aimlessly around, not understanding legally what are we supposed to do when encountered by a police officer. Most brothers and sisters just don't know, don't have a clue. We believe what we've been told. We believe what McGruff, the crime dog, has told us. We will believe what Officer O'Malley, who has showed up at your kid's elementary school and you know what I'm saying, with a big red nose and making freaking animal freaking balloons. We believe that guy. But you don't have a clue about what your city, state, county, town, what your sheriff, what your deputy, what your police officer, you don't have a clue about what it is that they require out of you if they give you a directive. That's problematic. That is so much a problem. No wonder a police officer can come up to you with the type of authority and just say, hey, do this. Then the moment you hesitate in any shape, way, form, or fashion, and I know y'all probably thinking, oh, well, not me. I don't go through that. Yeah, not you yet. But there's many other brothers and sisters who do go through this. And here's the other problem that I see with us. And I'm not just trying to throw out a bunch of problems, but I'm really trying to get us to think and bring something to the table. Let's challenge ourselves critically. Why is it that we as brothers and sisters, the first thing we want to do is blame our own brothers and sisters, say, well, if you would have acted like this, if you would have did that, you got to know how to finesse people. You got to know how to laugh and joke with the police officers. Then watch this. We take the police officer side and just say, well, they're just trying to do their job. What? Well, I think that young black male is just trying to live. I think that sister, she's just trying to get to work. everybody just trying to do something. I get it. I get respect. I get authority. I get all of that. But how is it that none of the rules apply when it comes to a police officer engaging you walking down the street or engaging you coming to your home? But yet the traffic laws and the fact that you need to be licensed to drive, we adhere to those all day, every day, and twice on Sunday. Well, most people. Some people drive without insurance. Some people drive without a license, what have you. But at least you know that's wrong. According to the system, you're like, man, if I ain't got a driver's license, I get caught, I already know what's going to happen. If I don't have insurance and I get caught, I already know what's going to happen. You already know. You already know. Most drivers can run down. If I get pulled over by a cop, I already know what the process is going to be. Or you're supposed to. God only knows what's going to happen in this day and age, brothers and sisters. But generally, for the most part, we know what the license and registration. Do you know why I pulled you over? Yeah. Then it goes into the extra. I need you to step out the car. That police officer is operating on straight policy. Supposed to be. You know, I keep throwing up the air quotes because everything isn't what it probably for a certain time. It's always been skewed in a gray area. God only knows. It's always been a toss-up when encountering the police. But typically, on a good day, even if you got pulled over, for the most part, police officers are operating out of policy. That's what backs them up, or supposed to be. In a court of law, they're looking at policy. Their supervisor, their shift supervisor, their sergeant, their commander is looking at, did we follow procedure? That's what they're looking at. Did we follow procedure? Did we have probable cause? Did we have all the elements in order to effectively do our job? They already on code. But when it comes to us, we don't have a clue on legally what am I to do. Do I have to get out of the car? Do I have to step outside of my home? Do I have to come with the police officer if he asks me to? What am I supposed to do? Legally. Forget all that. You see, we're way past. We are so way past this, just be respectful. Just do what the police officer asks you to do. Why? Once again, why? Why? You know, if you don't pay your light bill, lights getting turned off. You already know. You know that. But when it comes to adhering and dealing with police, all of a sudden, we operate out of blind faith and just go forward. I'm not even going to start being that I say a blind faith. Yes, I am. I'm going to say it. We give spiritual leaders such a hard time. We give Jesus a hard time when we talk about operating out of blind faith. But when it comes to dealing with law enforcement, God, be respectful. Just do what the police tell you to do. How's that working out for us? What? So we can be like the young brother in Chicago, get shot up, and 4 years later, then finally get a conviction out of a rogue freaking white supremacist police officer? That's one out of how many? So this is what I'm asking, and I'm going to end it. Brothers and sisters, what I'm asking you is this. Let's think. Y'all smarter than me. Can we bring something to the table? Can you go ahead and post and say, hey, you know what? In my town, in my city, where I come up at, this is what we're to do. This is legally, this is what we're supposed to do. This is what I know legally to be true. Because if we can't say that, we have a problem that we're just turned deaf to. We have a problem that we don't want to address. We have an ongoing, long-going problem that it'll be hard for me to listen to any of my brothers and sisters who's trying to tell me, yo, you need to go out and vote. Yo, you need to go to church. Yo, you need to join this organization. Like, are we serious? Are we serious? Like, why? But you can run down the whole reason why that is, but you can't run down how you know your rights as it pertains to law enforcement. How can you operate so blindly in that system, and then yet with other systems, I get what this pick and choose thing. If knowledge is power, what are we doing? Can we get some printed off statutes? Can we get some printed off legal rules and guidelines and guidance per your city, your town, your whatever it is, and start holding that up to your ear and be like, hey, look, I know my rights. I know what I'm supposed to do. And can we start sharing that amongst our brothers and sisters? Just asking. I mean, because the way I look at it, day by day, we're sending, and since we love the youth so much, day by day, we're sending young people out to do the best they can in this world that they're already set back on. The chips are already stacked against them, and we're really not just we're really not trying to learn from them. Really, what we're doing is we're buying into what the system wants us to buy into, and not only that, you're doing it to yourself too. You're buying into a system that you don't even know. I mean, if knowledge is power, where is this knowledge at? And I challenge any police officer, any law enforcement officer that's listening to this, hey, step up. Any lawyer that's listening to this, hey, step up. Educate the community, step up. Hold a town hall, do what you got to do, step up. Get the space in the community center, step up. Go to a church, step up. Educate the people. Since we want to do so much, step up. But you know what? This ain't gonna be the last time I'm gonna talk about it. As a matter of fact, I'm doing my homework, and I'm going to continue to engage people. I'm gonna walk these streets and I'm gonna start talking to people. I already have. I'm gonna talk to some more. Matter of fact, I want to get this on film. Step up. Do we know what we're talking about? Do we know what we're doing here? This is a serious question. I understand I said a lot, but you know what? This is serious. This is so serious. It's so serious. I think that a lot of times we're scared. We're afraid. And I said it. I'm going to be honest. I think, a lot of times when people don't know something, we run from it because we don't know. So we run from that. It's too difficult to handle. This isn't one of those easy things like rock the vote. This ain't pulling on your emotional heartstrings and, try to gas you up. This ain't that. This is actually, become aware of what you're dealing with so it can help us all out. See? Because I guarantee you, if something was to happen, God forbid, to you or your family, now all of a sudden everybody want to know what right is. Everybody want to know legally what right is. Maybe, just maybe, I'm just saying, just maybe. Maybe I'm using that loosely, but maybe if we knew what right was and we knew what we were supposed to do, just maybe, and we knew what the police officers can and cannot do, maybe a lot of our situations wouldn't end in death or injury. Maybe we wouldn't have to rally so much. Maybe we wouldn't have to rally so much that a lot of people don't like, right? Out there protesting with your picket signs and so forth and so forth. Maybe we wouldn't have to do that so much if we truly knew as a community of people what we're supposed to do and what the cops can and cannot do. Maybe we wouldn't have to get, those t-shirts made when your loved one passed away. Maybe we wouldn't have to get so many of those made if we knew what we were supposed to do and what cops can and cannot do. Maybe. Just maybe. I'm throwing these things out here. Why am I throwing them out here? Because we need to step up. This is a situation. This is just one of many. But this one is more crucial. For the most part, you get in your car, you drive, you go to work, you come home. For the most part, you can survive that. Accidents can happen anywhere. The unforeseen can happen. I get that part. But guess what? If you didn't yield at a yield sign, 9 times out of 10, you're probably not going to die because of that. It's a toss up now. Like you encountering a police officer. It's a toss up. You may or may not survive that situation. And when I say you, I'm speaking as far as everybody as a whole, the whole African American community. You may or may not. There's no guarantee. There's no guarantee that you're going to survive that. And even if you do survive, there's no guarantee that you're not going to walk away with injury. And then we're going to be crying for justice about what the police officer was supposed to do and didn't do and violated. And then we're confused on not knowing what could the police officer do. I just think we're undereducated. We're very ignorant when it comes to this, and understand ignorant is just not knowing. We just don't know. We don't know. We're not trying to know. I would ask you this: everybody who's looking at this video, and you got law enforcement in your family, that's your family now. Petition them. Ask them. Hey, auntie. Hey, uncle. Hey, mom. Hey, dad. I just saw a video. SPEAKROC was talking to us. You got the knowledge. Mom, dad, aunt, uncle, cousin, brother, sister, whoever. Can you give me some of that information? Or can you start sharing more of that information out in the community? Step up. Challenge your people. Challenge your family. Step up. Let's make this happen. Step up. So that once again, this is not going to be the last time I'm going to talk about this. We're going to talk about this some more. And we're going to bring some findings to the table. And if knowledge is power, like everybody keep talking about, this knowledge is going to help us out. This knowledge is going to empower us. Just saying. Everybody with the book challenge. If knowledge is power. So, hey, look, brothers and sisters, I'm just coming out of a place of love. I want us to think. I want us to grow. I want us to strengthen ourselves. Just like we do for every other situation. If we're dogmatic about everything else, how in the world can we not be dogmatic about this thing, which is, if you don't move the right way, it's costing you your life. So we shouldn't have to go there. Remember this. This is not the last time that I'm going to speak about this. We're going to have some more of this, okay? And let's bring something to the table. Hit me up in my DMs. Hit me up with the email. Message me. Hey, SPEAKROC, this is what I found out. This is what we can do. This is where we can learn from. Hey, this is for the community. This is for all the brothers and sisters. Let's put it out there. What's the secret? Shouldn't be no secret. And once again, legal information. Legal. Not just only your moral compass. Not just only that. Not just only your heartfelt feelings. Not just only that. Okay? Matter of fact, we really don't even want a lot of that, if any of that. We want legal documents. This is the document that says you are supposed to do this when encountering a police officer. Legal documents. Written, black and white, from your state, from your county, from your city, from your town. Legal documents. Just saying. Come on, we let's challenge each other. And, I'm a realist. I pray to God that this isn't going to be so, but I pray that this, I pray that we care. I pray that it's not so that we don't care. I don't know how you're gonna live your best life and you dealing with all these challenges, and not only just you and all your people. So hey, look, I'm your brother, SPEAKROC. That's all I gotta say. We're gonna revisit this again, and we're gonna make it happen. Hey, I love y'all. Hey, I'm a brother from Detroit. What do I know? Y'all be good. Peace.